Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based the debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Claude Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim, the Cheat Sheet Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we broadcast all over the world. And Jimmy, it's a great day. I like to tell everybody Happy New Year. Happy new decade. And guess what? I want to have a shout out to Jim Hicks. Dude, I watched your show the other day, the Sports Zone. 19 years, homeboy, of doing this thing, man. Let me tell you, on the Sports Zone, you and Todd Freed, he took us, and you know I got a few videos. You know I got something. Let me tell y'all something. To all you do, wait a minute, I'm finna get a little messy. All y'all over the last week been messing with my dude. 19 years of being on TV. Great segment. Jimmy, I remember I used to watch the stuff a long time ago. And Jimmy, I ain't gonna tell you, I was selfish. I was just watching to see what my son gonna be on there. I got to tell you the truth. I didn't even pay no attention to you back then. I was just seeing when was the highlight, when West Side gonna be on there, my son. But to people who don't have the cube and who didn't watch it last night, I'm gonna give you a little bit of what happened last night. It was very, very important. Very, it touched me last night because I don't remember all the years, but when my son was playing, I paid attention to it. It's about to come on the screen.
Welcome back to the High School Sports Zone. I'm Todd Freed. And the tradition continues here on the Big Show as we welcome back the guru of the high school hardwood, Jim Hicks of RCS Sports. Happy New Year. What year is this for you, together with yours truly?
19 years.
Wow, I guess we were in high school when we started. All right, we'll go with that one. All right, it's been a great start to the basketball season. You've got your mid-season Hicks 6 MVPs. Who are those guys?
And we're going to get back to a little of that because, Jimmy, I want you to share some of the stuff with the people. Man, that's got to be, for me, man. And I tell y'all, me and Jimmy on a debate show and we on a show. It's my job to disagree with him. It's my job to go in, but I ain't gonna let nobody else mess with him now. I'm just sorry about that, y'all. Listen, you know how you and your brother might fight all the time, but you ain't gonna let nobody else mess with him. So guess what, dude? I got your back, man. I'm just so proud of you for 19 years. And then I hate the few years that I didn't get a chance to see you because I wasn't paying attention to it. Because guess what? I was selfish like the rest of these parents. If my son wasn't playing, I wasn't watching it. I didn't know nothing about it. So, but I just like to give you, I got some more stuff to cover, but I want to give you a chance to talk about how did it feel? Just a happy new year, 19 years. How did it feel?
Well, I mean, it seems like yesterday I was just telling, and I saw Ralph Cooper sent a post out on Facebook, and I saw it this morning. And Ralph Cooper, the don of black media in the state of Texas. I mean, he's already in a couple of Hall of Fames for journalism and stuff. But I remember I started off right before pivoting into this opportunity alongside Todd Freed. I used to go over to KCOH at about 4:45 every other weekday, and Ralph Cooper's show would come on from 5 to 7, and I would go in there and do what you call producing the show. I would answer the telephone, the calls, and the lights be lit up. I let him know through the glass, hold up a little sign, let him know who's on line 2, line 3, and whatnot. And so then to pivot and got the opportunity, remember now, we're talking about in 2001. There was no, actually it was, the year was 2000. Yeah, 2001. 2001, I'm making sure. And there was no, social media wasn't as prevalent because we were just coming off the heels of the Y2K fears, meaning nobody bought new computers. A lot of people in the world made us think that everything would come to an end. You would lose all your money in the banks. And that was remember, this is only months removed from that state of mind. So Todd Freed comes into Houston with a new high school TV show. At the time, it was High School Sports Live. That means the show aired Friday nights at 10 p.m. live. Well, I want to say 10:30, something like that, 10 or 10:30 live. That means right after the high school game's over, we're at the rustle over to the TV station, get mic'd up, and go live. If you messed up right, and I'd never done television in my life, had never had any type of schooling on television and etiquette in my life. So it was like, took the chance. I was like the Eddie Murphy character in Trading Places. He took the gamble on me as Randolph and Mortimer did to Eddie Murphy in that movie, and ended up.
Hey, you was like Eddie Murphy in that movie too, but keep going.
Yeah, I mean,
you had a little Eddie Murphy in you, okay?
I wasn't homeless, but I mean, it was pivotal.
You in the law just didn't get along in a few feet.
Yeah.
To put it mild.
I mean, and it was really, 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 you understand, a white guy had never met Todd Freed in my life. So at the time, I'm in the gymnasiums, and he saw me at a couple of games. He was coming out the cover with his camera. Back then, Todd toted his own camera. Todd be there with the camera, filming stuff after the games. And so when he saw me over and over and over, and then he was like, well, hey, man, why don't you come in and talk about it? And that's how it started. And I took the opportunity to basically, I looked at it as going into the Luby's or Piccadilly, and I had the opportunity to add some soul food to that menu. And that's what it did. That was a logic and they said, come on, just do what you like. And that's what it was. And the next thing you know, it pivoted from there, and we kept coming back every year. And more people, look forward to it. And here we are 19 years later. I mean, I couldn't believe, I'm like, wow, it's really 2019, and we've been doing this. And so a lot of people don't know that I have a lot of control over who appears on the show. I have and had a lot of control. Who's the team of the week? Who's the player of the week? Which are the plays? I mean, a lot of that I've had control over for years. I don't advertise and market it to you guys because then you would have many of you. It's enough ass kissing already, but then you be trying to kiss the ass for the wrong reason. So, but at this
Man,
point,
don't mess up my tribute like that.
well, I mean, I'm just giving it. But I got a lot of feedback. A lot of people had no idea that I had been on television that long because you have to realize the cycle of high school basketball recruiting, it goes in 4-year intervals.
Right.
So that means there's people right now in the 8th grade, 7th grade that never heard of Jim Hicks.
Right.
So but the 9th graders are just putting the name with the face. They've heard of it now in the 9th grade. So that means those people in 4 years, they'll be going off to college. Another set of parents are coming in every year. And they have no idea because, and that's why a lot of times you hear me guys, and I may go over the ledge on tooting up my own horn, but then I'm saying, and I'm it's with passion.
You're talking to new people.
Yes, because I'm talking to new people.
I got you.
And if I don't say it, then often where would they get it from? Well, there's no logbook on what happened in the city over the past 2 decades in high school basketball.
I got
you. So where would you go to get it from? It's not gonna be in an Encyclopedia Britannica or whatever they call it, a Wikipedia or whatever. It's not gonna be there. So I have to go and constantly reintroduce myself to a different community, an incoming assortment of parents and relatives. That's why I ask you guys. That's why it's so important when we ask you guys to share the show.
That's right.
If you share the show, there's a parent that you have no idea that you take them for granted. They know who Jim Hicks is, or they know who Robert Hatter is, and then they see the face and they're like, "Oh, I saw him. I know him." Mm-hmm. And it happened just this past weekend. And after the TSU and Southern game, we'll talk about that later on in the show. Go by Phil and Derek's, and there was a lady in there with one of the guys that went to high school with me. We went to high school together, and they had, I see him every few months. And she was like, "I know you." She said, and I said, "Well, from where?" She said, "Basketball." I said, "Well, probably so. You probably have a relative that played." "My son," and she would explain her son. I know his son, know him by name and know a little bit of his game. And it's just that small of a world. And next thing you know, she put out her phone, had Facebook on there, and I showed her how to follow the Chop Shop page and like our page. That's important to the digital footprint as we approach and incorporate into 2020. But once again, guys, thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for if you hadn't watched it, I'll be on every Saturday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time on channel 57 The Cube. The name of the show is High School Sports Zone.
I got to make a point because I always click because I want it to be continuous, right? But I got to figure out a way to click that first run because I always, when I click it, it tapes it on Sunday and Saturday. So I got 2 of you on my damn TV right now, and I'm finna go erase one of them. I'm finna go erase one of them right now.
You click the first run. Yeah.
But it was a unique show. It was a unique show this weekend. I kind of like that show a little bit.
If you missed it, I've introduced my mid-season MVPs. I call them the Hicks Six. It was 6 people that made my mid-season all mid-season team. And those 6 was LJ Cryer, Jordan Ivy Curry, Tremont Mark, Marcus Williams, JVL Francis, and Bryce Griggs. Those were my Hicks 6 mid-season MVPs. These guys had been doing things and performing very well. And it was and congratulate all those young men, if you know any of them. Also, speaking of high school basketball, I mean, I've definitely got a chance to watch a few games over the past few days. We hadn't seen you guys since last Tuesday on our holiday mini vacation. But I got a chance to go and check out Yates and the new version, the new look Yates with two more of their players have been added to the roster and been deemed eligible. And I watched them beat Legacy by 40 points, Adam, 109-69. I had to leave after the third quarter, and guess what I did?
What?
I took a college coach to that game. And that's why I tell people, you always pay attention. Pay attention. And that's something we talk about later on in the back nine, where I can't wait to get in the mailbag and get in. Got a couple of sermons to give you guys, a couple of things that went on social media that I can't wait to address and all that stuff. But it's an ongoing plight to keep you parents
informed.
Keep you guys informed.
Right.
And Ward, I went on social media and I invited all the parents to come and write me letters. Or if you got questions, you can contact me directly. And guess what? I had over 2 dozen, about approximately 24, 25 inquiries in the past few days. People asking general questions. And guess what I did? I responded to every single one.
Oh, y'all, he love to hear that. Hey, y'all. Hey, when he put out a mandate like that, y'all take advantage of it. I mean, you know, like I tell y'all, I can get on him. You know, I can afford to. A lot of y'all got to understand that he's an information. And I told people a long time, Jimmy, one of my most valuable sayings, you know, I was asking kids, one of the most valuable things in this world is information. If you got the right information, man, you can do whatever you want to do. Information is more powerful than having money, because if you have the right information, you can get you some money. So information is the most powerful tool in the world. That's why I'm always reading. That's why I inspire the kids around me and the people around me. Jimmy is an information source. He sit back and watch these college coaches run around and running like their head with their head cut off. And he said, let me give them some information that will make their job easier, their trip to Houston easier. Make sure they get the kids' telephone numbers, the gym time. Y'all know how important that is. I'm a college coach sitting in my office saying, I'm planning to go to Houston. So guess what? I can hit this gym at this time, this gym at this time, this gym at this time. Guess what? I got the boys' social media handle. So before I even go look at this dude, I go even to recruit this dude, guess what I can do? I can go check on, get my social media guys. Let's look him up. Let's see what kind of guy what we're dealing with. The cheat sheet. I didn't understand what the cheat sheet was. I wasn't a college coaching. Damon Stoudemire was coaching for Memphis. We were sitting in New Orleans at a hotel. We were sitting there talking, and he showed me the cheat sheet. And that was years ago. And I said, wow. He said, man, this stuff make my job so easy. So, hey, man, yes, I'm going to stay on you now. Don't get it twisted. You are not going to get no pass today. But I'm finna give you your flowers now, but I'm gonna bust you behind in a few minutes. But guess what? Man, great job well done. And ladies and gentlemen, I was blessed enough that I had a kid that come up through this the same way y'all did, 9th grade, 10th grade. And I was blessed enough, I didn't have to know about this as much because I already had a plan. Notice that, Jimmy, because I had got the right information. So myself, I already knew where my son was going to go to school. Long time ago, because I saved it for it. So, but everybody's not in that position. That's why I love to talk about this on this show. If you don't, Jimmy, great information source. Man, sometimes, like this morning. Jimmy, guess what I did? On my computer screen right here to my left, if I keep looking over to my left, that's my other screen that I'm looking at. I got the RCS Sports VIP room already keyed in so I can know what's going on today. And guess what else I got? Right here handy in my desk. Somebody had to write all of this stuff. I got the magazine. I was without the magazine the other day, and guess what? I'm going to keep them in all my cars from now on because I was in the car that didn't have it. a shameless plug. I was in a car that didn't have it, and guess what, Jimmy? I had to call Jimmy, and guess what, y'all? He gave me a hard time. I said, man, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Man, it's in the magazine. Man, just shut up and give me the information. I need the information now. But thank you, man, what you do for the community. I'm proud of you. If I never said, I know when we get off the air, me and you talk about it. But people on this show think, oh, well, he's mad at you. No, that's just me. So Jimmy, I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. Where we going next? What we got?
Yeah, we're going right now. We get dive right into some NFL results, man. I mean, what a wild weekend and the wild card that is. And you know, New England goes down. New Orleans go down.
Wow.
How about that? I mean, then Seattle, Seattle took care of business. Defense stepped up.
I'm waiting on you to talk about that other name that you don't like to talk about down there on Fannin and Kirby. Let's talk about that score. Huh? Let's talk about that. Black quarterbacks 2-0 in the playoffs. But keep going.
And the Texans prevailed on Saturday. That game was the game that started the weekend off. Was the first game of the wild card series. Houston Texans 22-19 over Buffalo in a thrilling game.
Really?
Yeah, it was a thriller.
Yeah.
That really was. I mean, it was. I was in one of the restaurants watching the game, and it was like, wow. I mean, you could see people. I mean, people were ready to start burning up their jerseys in the third quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, it was getting rough. Yeah. And you get right to that point when you sit next to somebody white and you're thinking it's gonna slip out. They get mad. It slip out. And I was waiting for something to just slip out. And boy, now all of a sudden, Texans come back. I mean, what a day. Deshaun Watson, 20 for 25. Started off really slow in the first half.
Yeah.
He barely had slightly over 50 yards passing in the first half. I think that was an all-time low
Jimmy,
for him.
Yeah, I'm going to help you out a little bit. Your boy Nuke dropped a couple of them too now. Don't get it twisted.
Well, Nuke ain't a wide receiver.
No, Nuke. I'm talking about. He's supposed to be the best wide receiver in the league. DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, you saying Nuke? I'm thinking about Duke.
DeAndre Hopkins. Nuke. They call him Nuke. Like
okay,
Nuke.
I was thinking about Duke. Duke.
DeAndre Hopkins dropped a few of them, and they was bragging at me at the barbershop one day, talking about he this and he. Yeah, that's a big game, Jimmy. All that could go wrong went wrong in those first half and the first two quarters. I ain't gonna lie. I was blaming Bill O'Brien. You know what I'm gonna do, but I know what you said. A lot of people were blaming Deshaun Watson because guess what, Jimmy? You know what happened this week? He had a birthday. He gave a birthday party for his girlfriend earlier this week, and they were talking about that.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought they broke up.
Since when?
I thought they had broke up.
No, nigga, he just gave it a birthday party Wednesday night.
I know. He gave it a football after that touchdown he ran too. He gave it football. You ain't said that.
So don't believe the hype. Don't believe it. He got a good girl. He got a good girl. He got a good girl. Yeah, he got a good one.
And so, but
she got her own money. But keep going.
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun's girlfriend is a Houston native and with over 2 million followers on social media herself. So yes, she's definitely can enable to tote her own weight. But this game, Hal, I'm gonna tell you something. What some of the things I took out of the Houston Texans game is the running back Hyde.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Hyde. I'm not.
So you like Duke? At first you didn't like Duke, Jimmy. Who you like, Jimmy?
What? Let me tell you, Duke didn't give it 3 carries. Something happened with Duke. He done got straight up demoted. But this dude Hyde, let me tell you what I noticed. And if you guys, some of you football pundits out there, you go back and just watch a highlight at any point of the game. Now you can go and click on ESPN and find a various moment and look whenever in that game. I'm not talking about no game before or whatnot, but that game on Saturday against the Bills, most of the time, I think Hyde got 16 touches, 48 yards. That's 3 yards a total. Remember, the benchmark for a running back is the least average 4 yards a carry. When he got it, it was so much stutter stepping. It wasn't. He didn't blast to the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you notice that?
But Jimmy, they got like a zone read, cause what is his name? Arian Foster. They used to have you got to hit the hole at the right time. I haven't really watched the game, Jimmy, cause you remember I text you and Fob this morning. I happened to go see Color Purple, the play down at Jones Hall, but I got the game on tape. I haven't seen nothing but the highlights. So you telling me Duke Johnson was tiptoeing through the line?
Man, repeatedly.
Okay.
So what you're doing is every time you tip or toe, you're giving the defensive players a half second to adjust and respond. So you're giving it up. I'm watching other games on purpose.
Uh-huh.
I watched a piece of all 4 games this weekend on purpose. I want to see the other running backs. Were they in similar fashion? Were they, and sure enough, Derrick Henry don't count. We know he's upright. Eric Dickerson, he's in that line with like a Clydesdale. So
But
I'm
that's
not
what
going
he do, Jimmy. That's his calling card.
Yeah, I'm not going to even compare Hyde to Derrick
No,
Henry.
that's all pro.
But I can compare him to Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook has been Dalvin Cook was an all pro, I think.
Okay,
Jimmy.
I can compare him to Miles Sanders, who's a rookie.
Yeah.
Philly.
Who would he play for?
Dude,
Who did Miles Sanders play for?
Philly.
Jimmy.
I'm sorry. No. Dalvin Cook with Philly, Miles Sanders with the other team.
No. Dalvin Cook is with Minnesota.
I mean Minnesota. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it. I got you. But Jimmy, some teams are built to run the football. I just don't think that's our calling card.
Man, we got to get somebody out there.
You got to remember, we got an all-pro what? Wide receiver and quarterback. We don't have an all-pro running back. And the team with the all-pro running back, Dallas Cowboys, Zeke, his ass at home watching, Jimmy. Jimmy, Adrian Peterson at home watching.
Man, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know a lot of people. It hurt Las Vegas. It hurt the betting. Well, I say not hurt Las Vegas because Las Vegas wins. Because a lot of people pick New England to win Super Bowl. So Vegas cashed in. They playing with house money. But it hurt for viewerships. I would say that. Like that Tom Brady gets eliminated by Tennessee Titans, 20-13. Well, in this game, I was really glad that New England went down for the reason, only for selfish reasons of the city of Houston. That means you didn't have to go to Baltimore. I did not want the Texans. What I saw with that running back, what he was doing there against that Baltimore defense, it ain't no way that Deshaun Watson he got sacked 7 times.
7 times, man.
He'd get with the way that they were playing in that game. Remember now.
So, okay. Now, Jimmy, hold on now. Hold on. Whoa. So you saying Deshaun got sacked several times. Who responsibility of that? Some of that him. He held the ball a couple times.
Yes.
He held that ball too long.
At least 51% of that was his fault.
So his offensive line is really not that great. Because your homeboy.
It's better than it was a year ago. It's not great.
Hey. Smoke bomb Jones over here, Tonza, 12, during this year, he had 12 false starts. Jimmy, let me tell you something. You know, what's the bear crawl? Jimmy, every time that man did that, I'd have make him bear crawl around the stadium, Jimmy. I know you can't do it to no pro athlete, but Jimmy, that don't make no sense. But I got something for you. I want you to take a look at that. I want you. Who would have thought in the AFC South, Houston win the division, Tennessee gets in at the end of the season, and here we are now, Houston going to Kansas City, who we beat already, and Tennessee is on a roll, but they going up there to mess with that monster named Lamar Jackson. I mean, Jimmy, to me, it's a year of change, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, going in at the AFC, those great quarterbacks that we've been had forever, the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Mannings, the Ben Roethlisberger, all those guys have been in the championship game and went to Super Bowls, right? But right now we have this new era of young quarterbacks. phenomenal quarterbacks. Deshaun
Mhm.
Watson. They what's my guy? Lamar Jackson. Dude, this thing, Holmes, Patrick Mahomes. The league is getting more exciting with these players, with these open styles, and Russell Wilson helped us out. But Jimmy, you talked about you don't like Duke. Oh, you say you don't like the other guy. Which one you don't like, Duke or the other guy?
I don't like Hyde.
Okay,
Hyde.
okay,
I'm,
okay.
you
Because
know
Duke
what?
played pretty well.
I had to pick. I wish Duke get more. Duke. Why Duke Johnson did
But
not get more carries? I don't
But
understand
Jimmy,
that.
you didn't like Duke when he first. You remember you talking about, man? You didn't like Duke at first.
Yeah, but Fuller is the guy. But I didn't. But at the same time, there's no Fuller. You got Hyde, and the way Hyde was running the ball and not effective at all, it was almost as if the Texans were giving away first down in exchange for 1 yard or 2 yards. And this offense they wasn't clicking good enough to be able to expect first down after first down on only 2 downs. It just wasn't going to work.
You know what I do like? What the Texans did, and I got to give Bill O'Brien this. You remember that dude Kevin Johnson that we drafted in the first round long time ago, and then we shipped him out of there. Kevin Johnson, the cornerback. We had this cornerback. We shipped him right up because he used to get burned all the time. He was targeted in coverage 5 times yesterday, and all 5 were caught for 51 yards in the first and 3 first downs.
He was a mouse in the house.
Oh my God. Kenny Stills went at him 4 times, and your boy Duke went at him once. So, I mean, that's one thing I love about Bill O'Brien and them, because I wanted to get him fired. You remember after them first 3 games, I was asking for his head. But when you win in the playoffs, man, it ain't but 8 teams, ain't but 8 teams standing, right? Jimmy, I saw something that I did not like. And before we get off football, I want you to take a look at this. I want you to take a look at this. Hold on. I saw it the other day, and I want y'all to take a look at it. I saw this. I'm gonna put these 2 things up on the board, and they're gonna cover me and Jimmy up. Hold up. I'm gonna cover us up a second, Jimmy, but I want you to take a look at that pick, and then I'm gonna go get the other pick. And then I want you to see something, Jimmy, because this what ESPN did, and ESPN is about to piss me off. And I'm telling you, I shouldn't be saying that bad word on the air, but Jimmy, I'm gonna cover us. This who ESPN had, I'm trying to make it bigger for us on this side. Hold up, I'm hitting the wrong button. I'm trying to make it bigger right here for us. But ESPN. If you can see what's going on they were talking about the playoffs, okay? And this who they put the people on there. Notice what happened. They got Jimmy G, Aaron Rodgers. In the left corner, they got Russell Wilson. They got Pat Mahomes. They got Lamar Jackson. But for us, the Houston Texans, they got J.J. Watt on there, man. Can y'all see that? Jimmy, can you see that? No, man, I'm for real.
I mean, I see it. I mean,
They got Derrick Henry for Tennessee. But they got J.J. Watt on there, man. And I know y'all love him. Hold up, I'm trying to make that big. Because y'all don't think y'all see it. I'm trying to make that bigger than it's supposed to be. ESPN promoted I guess who gonna be good in the playoffs. And, here I'm making it bigger now. Okay, make it big, get big. And they don't put Deshaun Watson in there, man. I'm just telling you, I don't know if it was a slight, but I don't like it. I don't like it, and I want y'all to see what's going on. This was ESPN did this. This what they put in their promotion for the games next week. And I thought I'd share that with you, Jimmy. You got me watching little stuff like that. And Jimmy, that didn't make no sense right there. Very disrespectful. Thank you, Madonna. Jimmy, J.J. Watt ain't played all season, Jimmy. All season. He get 1 sack in this game, and they put him on there. Come on, man.
Well, they put him on there before the game started. So
No. This after the game. This the 8.
Oh, this is for next week.
No, yeah, this for next week. Those are the top 8 teams this next week. If you didn't notice, every one of those teams are this their promotion for next week. This happened after the game. That's why I'm telling you. I know you're trying. Don't be trying to help them out, dude. I didn't like that, Doc. I can't tell you no lie, man.
Let you know what they think about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. This is what they put up there, Jim Hicks. I said unbelievable, and you know, it ain't just you. Somebody else called me about it. I saw it. I said, that's odd. Very odd, but that's all right. We're gonna get past it. Thank God for Deshaun Watson. So what else you got?
And also they may not have wanted to be 4-4. They wanted to make sure that as normal they want to have more faces of a certain hue in that among that 8 as the majority. So they had to have 5-3. They didn't want it to be 4-4. And that maybe that too, but understand those are little bitty things that people do. You have to really be paying attention to take note of little things like that. And speaking of NFL, of course, we mentioned the Titans ended the season for Tom Brady 20-13. The Vikings totally ripped the hearts out of the New Orleans Saints.
Oh my God!
In overtime, 26-20, and of course Seattle takes care of Philly 17-9. So Dallas Cowboy fans have a reason now because misery normally loves company. So with Dallas Cowboy fans, in the same weekend, your Philadelphia Eagles lost along with the New Orleans Saints. So now and then you get moments later. How about that? In the midst of the Philadelphia game, they couldn't wait till after the game. In the middle of the game, the Cowboys release the statement about Jason Garrett and officially parting ways. Remember now, a lot of people got to understand something. Jason Garrett didn't get fired. He didn't get fired.
His contract was up.
And that's what I'm saying. So technically, I mean, just saying, don't lose your money in a bar bet. He did not get fired. His contract just did not get renewed. That's a big difference. So in years to come, he can go and say, well, I've done a great job. They didn't fire me at Dallas. Yeah, they did. No, they didn't. Think about it now, guys. They did not renew him. And so now the Cowboys have gone and they've hired Mike McCarthy, who used to coach. He was the offensive coordinator, I think, for the Green Bay Packers. And Mike McCarthy, they wasted no time getting him in there. And one of the things we learned, of course, they have a video that's going on social media. This guy had been prepping for a head coaching job, possibly this job. Whenever something happens this fast, guys,
they've been talking.
This guy had been prepping his staff.
No, Jimmy, look. They didn't bring him for 2 quarters. They didn't bring him for 2 guys.
They brought in one to satisfy the Rooney Rule.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, and McCartney.
And him. So think about it, guys. Whenever this stuff takes place, and think about it. You put out the announcement about Jason Garrett last night. Less than 24 hours ago. Then you go and you hire your coach the very next sunrise. Guess what? It was already done. It's already done.
And Jimmy, I got something for you. And with all these new clever young coaches available, I found it odd that they just interviewed those 2. You know, then when I looked at Mike McCartney, I looked at his little resume. You know, I had to look it up. You know, in his last 3 years at Green Bay, Green Bay was 29th in rushing, 26th in rushing, and dead last in rushing. Dallas got one of the best running backs in the game that they just paid a whole lot of money to, Jimmy. Jerry Jones, man, I don't understand him. He's made he made his empire, Jimmy, on taking risks. When he bought the Dallas Cowboys, Jimmy, he didn't have the cash, Jimmy. He put it on a credit card. And he had to scramble for 4 years. And then he scrambled when he built that stadium. He scrambled when he built that practice facility. Even when he hired Jimmy Johnson, he always did some dastardly. When he hired Jimmy Johnson, then fired Tom Landry. Jimmy, that's a risk taker. You know, he's an oil maverick. Anybody's in the oil business is a risk taker. Mike McCarthy is not a risk. He's the safe bet. He's Jason Garrett 2.0. All of these young progressive candidates, he just interviewed these two old men. Nothing against the old guys, but you had Urban Meyer out there, Lincoln Riley, Matt Rule, Josh McDonald. You even had Troy Bieniemy, Eric Bieniemy. You had all of these guys out here, and he did the safe thing and hired McCarthy. And guess what, Jimmy? Mike McCarthy stayed at his crib last night.
And that's what one of the I think Ricky Scott said it in the Boom Boom Room, and I asked him, was he serious? Did he actually?
Yes.
So, guys, it was done. It was done.
Yeah.
So when do you think? You think they just started talking about this 2 days ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? Heck no. This was done back when the cries first started about getting rid of Jason Garrett. Probably when they lost to the Jets. This was done. I mean, you have to realize, understand, you look at and you connect the dots backwards. The resume is there.
Mm-hmm.
He's very familiar with that with that conference, right? Mm-hmm. He's very familiar with that conference.
Oh, Mike McCarthy is sharp. Jimmy, I sent you the video. I know it's too long to play. But him and his guys, his coaching staff, right, who got fired, right? They ain't been fired but a year. But they've been meeting, Jimmy. Think about this. Check this out. Jimmy, they just been meeting, just knowing it's going to be a job or hoping it's being a job. These guys, I guess they get enough money. They can take a year off. They can take a year off. But they were meeting every day like they were preparing for games. And guess what? Preparing for the draft. These guys were in there preparing for the draft. Unbelievable, man. And you know, I hope it worked out. What you got?
I mean, I also mentioned that McCarthy is very familiar with the conference. Mm-hmm. Remember, he also worked in New Orleans, and he worked in San Francisco on their staff. Mm-hmm. So he's very, in addition, he went to the AFC and worked with the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, but he's very familiar with that conference. Guess what? That's one of those picks that's really a safe pick.
Yes.
It's a safe pick.
But Jerry is not usually the safe guy.
Yeah, you think about it. Yeah, his last Jason Garrett wasn't a seasoned veteran, coach.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson wasn't a seasoned veteran in the NFL.
He was a risk taker. It got him out of college.
Barry Switzer wasn't a seasoned coach in the NFL. You think about it.
Yeah.
So then you got, you know what? So guess what? This one right here is a solid pick. And I see, guess who went to social media shortly after, speaking of social media, shortly after that hire today.
Who, man?
Old Dez.
He needed, him and AB, man.
Well, Dez gave it props. Dez was like, this is a great hire. So could Dez be laying the foundation?
Dez was just glad the other man. You remember his first tweet was, man, Dallas, all right now. They done fired Jason Garrett. That was his first thing.
That's what he said?
Yeah, his first thing. He just wanted Jason Garrett out of there.
And so this weekend, guys, don't forget the quarterfinals will resume on Saturday. Minnesota at Frisco. That's a 3:30
That's a good one.
Central game.
Good one.
Tennessee at Baltimore is a 7:15 game. These are all Central time. Houston plays Kansas City at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Seattle would travel to Green Bay, and they would play immediately afterwards at 5:40. That's the approximate time of their kickoff.
Okay.
And those are the weekend's game. And meanwhile, Saturday and or Sunday, don't forget you can catch yours truly on High School Sports Zone, 6 p.m., right after the Texans game or right after the San Francisco, Minnesota game on Channel 57, The Cube, which can be seen locally in H-Town. You guys catch that? And meanwhile, we pivot.
Just a little reminder, Jimmy, between the Rockets beating the Denver and Philly by double digits and everything, and the Texans, what they did yesterday, the day before yesterday, you know what? This was one of my best weekend in Houston sports, in a while. I mean, I had a great time. My boys clowning. Now guess what? Let's do it all again next week, y'all. That's all I wanted to say. Let's do it all again next week.
Indeed. And I want to give a shout out to Odyssey. I see you said Bill Parcells and Wade Phillips. Well, yes, those two were veteran head coaches.
No, but they wasn't risk. We talking about risk taking. Barry Switzer came out of college, risk. Jimmy Johnson from Miami, risk. He used to take risk. Bill Parcells wasn't a risk. That's what that angle. You might have been coming at a different angle. I was talking about the risk angle.
That's the angle that I think that's what he's coming. He's just letting us know those two wasn't risk.
Oh, okay.
Those were safe.
Okay.
Those were safe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, true that. But at the same time, we know 10 years with Jason Garrett was far too long. 10 years and winning only like 83 games in that. That's an average of 8 wins per year, or just over 8 wins per year. That ain't going to cut it. Anyway, we pivot over today. Just coming out, guys. Go over to the basketball.
Okay.
We got NBA basketball. We get out the way. Then we get into amateur sports. In the NBA scene, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers, after 5 days of no chop shop, the Milwaukee Bucks still has the best record in the NBA, 32-5. They've won 5 straight games on another win streak. Identical with that 5-game win streak is the Los Angeles Lakers, who stands atop the Western Conference, and their lead has expanded to 4 games ahead of, and it's kind of interesting if you look at the standings. It's really, if you don't understand math, it really would confuse the hell out of you, because check this out. According on the standings, the Lakers are atop with a 29-7 record. They're with the 1 seed. The 2 seed and the 3 seed are the Denver Nuggets and the Houston Rockets, with both 24-11 records, right? The 4th seed would be the Los Angeles Clippers with a 26-12 record, right? How about this? Guess how many games behind the Clippers are of the Lakers right now?
4.
Look at that, Howard.
4.
Take a look at it.
4.
It says what?
4.
How many games behind is the Rockets and the Denver Nuggets? Uh-oh.
They just won more games. They won 2 more games. That's all. Yeah.
But how would they get the 2nd seed and the 3rd seed? That's
because
very,
of the percentages, Jimmy. The other team, for some, and guess what? They might have won. You got to realize now, who you was talking about? The Jazz. Who you talking about?
No, the Clippers.
I'm talking about the Clippers. What happens is the Clippers got one more loss. One more loss than Rockets. They done lost. Losses count a lot more than wins, Jimmy. I think, evidently.
Let me tell you something. You would be hard pressed to ever see that in the standings the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's weird,
like,
right there.
That's like an eclipse. That's like the moon crossing over the sun. What you just saw in those
Jimmy,
standings.
guess what? The percentages bear it out right.
Yes,
it
I
bears
understand.
it out right. But you saying it's odd. You just saying it's odd.
Very odd.
And really and truly, Jimmy, the Rockets to me should be if a number 2. But guess why? Because they beat Denver in the head-to-heads. So if it was a tie at the end of the season, the Rockets would be the number 2 seed right now.
Indeed, and so now of course in NBA action, I think this evening, who we got on tap this evening, Heather?
Let me see what we got. Hold on, what I got.
Oh, here you go, right here.
A lot of games.
The Rockets have a brief vacation. They don't play until Wednesday, guys, the way it looks. And tonight, the top games on tap, Oklahoma City and Philly, right? It doesn't sound very sexy, but this OKC Thunder team
They playing,
is
Jimmy.
playing some really solid basketball.
Jimmy,
Understand?
they
won.
sexy. You just ain't been watching.
Guess how sexy they are.
Okay.
They won 9 out of their last 10.
Okay. Shea Gildress Alexander, y'all. I'm telling you.
No.
Deal.
Hold on. Don't get like ESPN. Don't get disrespectful.
Jimmy, no. No. The reason I got to say that about him.
The insurance man.
But
really,
he's supposed to make $100 million a day.
But I'm gonna tell you something. They sent that man to Oklahoma City as supreme punishment. The Rockets did. They knew what they were doing. That was punishment. When you send a guy like him to a team like that, on paper, going into the season,
on paper,
that is not doing him a favor. Especially after looking him in the eyes and telling him, you ain't going nowhere. We got you. Yeah, don't worry, Chris. We got you. Look him in the eyes as he come out of his own mouth and he confessed.
Jimmy,
now
they told him we wasn't trading. He said something, we're not trading you right now, or something like that. It was a loophole in that now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now was a loophole.
Yeah.
And for him to come and have the OKC Thunder with above 500, and right now they're playing some of the best basketball in the league. And remember, they've won 5 straight, 9 out of their last 10. This is OKC.
So what you trying to say? We let him go too soon?
No, what I'm saying is this is the perfect opportunity for Chris Paul, because he lost a lot of points with a lot of people, because a lot of people will force themselves to pick and choose Chris Paul versus James Harden in the brief riff. This is how you rebound and reinsert. Remember now, this guy's he came out of high school in 2003, guys. Mm-hmm. And remember, also has the pressure of being one of the administrators of the National Basketball Players Association. He's one of the administrators. What is the vice president?
No, he's the president of the Players Association.
President.
Yeah.
And so think about it. Chris Paul, man, guess what? Thumbs up, man. Thumbs up. You know, that's great job, because you know what? This young man, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, has embraced the Robin role of the guidance, being able to taught by Chris Paul and learn this game and fine-tune, expedite his whole development with this guy mentally.
Jimmy, Anthony Weston, you know I don't agree with him at all. But he said something key just now. He said, have you ever thought about it just might have been a better fit?
Not on paper. Not a person in the world thought that.
No. We ain't talking about paper. Because the game is not played on paper. The game is played between the lines. It's not good fit on paper. Never. He couldn't have went think about it. Couldn't nobody else absorb that salary but this team. The Rockets would have wanted more than that they got for him. But no. I'm sorry. They got I'm sorry.
How many?
They got Russ. I'm sorry. I apologize.
All-stars.
Say what?
How many All-Stars will OKC have this year? Zero, right?
Right.
Portland Trailblazers.
0.
Entered this season.
Mm-hmm.
They entered this season. Their star player got into a duel going into the beginning of the season with Shaquille O'Neal over a rap freestyle battle. And he took the bait. And he goes and he freestyle. Understand. He's really getting a pass. Dame Lillard has gotten a pass really this year because they ain't done nothing.
Jimmy, yeah, he getting a pass. Ain't nobody on him but Jimmy. What can 2 little old guards get? Coach, you got a guy from Weber State and you got a guy from Lehigh. They gonna fizzle out after a while, Jimmy. They done gave you all they got. But let me tell you something. Herb Baker is gone crazy. Jimmy, please help me, because I never went to Dekaney's games. That man said, what Zion Williams is wilder than the kid's mom that played for Dekaney a couple of years
I'm not gonna get it.
Hey, Herb, I don't take us off camera with that one, Herb. That's not right, man. Unbelievable.
Hey,
Man, I need some tissue now to wipe my eyes off.
no comment on that. But
Okay,
hey,
I'm gonna leave that one alone too.
speaking of the NBA,
Uh-huh.
the Cleveland Cavaliers and Kevin Love.
Oh my
Over the
goodness,
weekend, guys, Kevin Love
Jimmy.
went and he's remember now, and we saw it. And all those DNPs and coming back and this and that. Now, in the middle of the game, it reached its ugly head during the closing seconds of the second quarter in a game.
Jimmy, it's on the screen, Jimmy. Keep talking. It's on the screen. I'm playing it again.
The star point guard was dribbling.
Yeah.
The clock out. Now they had 13, less than 15 seconds on the shot clock, but they still had like an 8-9 second gap on the regular clock.
Watch this pass. Watch this pass.
When he grabbed that ball from him
and threw, and you see how he threw the pass to the
other
guy?
In other words, what did that? If you had to caption that moment, what was Kevin Love saying?
I ain't never been in that situation, Jimmy.
You can imagine what he's saying as he flicked that ball over there to his teammate. What did Kevin Love? What was he saying?
F this stuff.
There you go. Which way did he go?
Jimmy. Then that next one, he just let the guy go on defense. Kevin Love.
There you go. Which way did he go?
It's a two-part to that thing, Jimmy. Kevin Love just walked off. He didn't help. He just turned his back. The dude went past the kid. I got to play that one more time. Dude, I ain't never seen no like that.
There you go. Which way?
Man, that man done checked out.
So guess what happened? That was from Saturday. The Cavs, I think, played again on yesterday. That was from Friday or Saturday. They played again yesterday on Sunday. And guess what happened?
Wow.
Kevin Love DNP.
That's right. Load management.
DNP. They called it rest.
Yeah.
They didn't say load management.
Coach.
They say rest.
Okay.
So Kevin Love got the day off work for that move. And the thing is, see, here's what happens. If they're in between the rock and the hard place, and people try to compare this situation to Carmelo. Kevin Love is not at the end of his contract.
Nope.
You see, he agreed to this contract. I think a 4-year deal.
I don't blame him. All that money.
So he's not. And then he made it appear, but at the same time, the Cavaliers also made it appear that they was going to go and get him some help.
And Jimmy, while we're talking, we got to realize this guy has already came out and said he is suffering from anxiety, depression, and mental illness. So now you can continue.
But I mean, yes, half the league is. If you want to go get technical on that part, the thing is with him, Kevin Love, the more that they put him out there, the more he can be prone to embarrass the team or maybe not take plays off on purpose. Now, if that happens and the more antics they give, his value goes down. Nobody's going to pay you a premium amount of trade you on a premium amount of players. Now, understand, trades must be compatible in salary.
Yeah.
They have to be within a certain percentage of the value. Mm-hmm. That's why you see a lot of stuff get thrown in and this and that. It has to be in the same range of value to when you trade, meaning that you can't go and trade Daniel House for Kevin Durant. You can't do that in the league, and it's the reasons that protects the teams from just unloading players and stacking other teams when you know you don't make the playoffs. That's one of the reasons they put that rule into play to help teams from just doing that. So now, Kevin Love, before he came to Cleveland, he got a ring. He was losing before he got there in Minnesota, but he was an all-star. So now you're losing and you're no longer even nowhere close to all-star type productivity. Now, who's going to take Kevin Love in this salary? A lot of teams will take it. And from what I understand, the Houston Rockets are not necessarily, I'm not going to mention them with Kevin Love, but they are seeking another center forward, that is. Tristan Thompson is right on the top of the list. I'm not a fan of Tristan Thompson. I don't know how that's going to work, knowing that he and James Harden both never
Man,
mind.
it ain't no fun if your homie can't have none. Man, leave that alone, man. Them folks ain't thinking about that mess.
They both have the same girl.
It ain't no fun if your homie can't have none.
So why would the Rockets do that?
James don't care nothing about that girl, man.
We thought Ben Simmons didn't care nothing about that other, about her sister. But Ben
No,
Simmons
we didn't.
is the
No.
whole thing.
Ben Simmons been wiped up, and Ben Simmons a young dude. James ain't worried about no big old Chloe. I'm just telling you right now.
But that's Tristan's baby mama.
Yeah.
It's different, Hal.
Well, he know that Tristan know that was James' girl when he made her his baby mama and went there without protection.
Yeah, he went there. She took that thing off. She punched a hole.
Yes, sir.
She stuck a hole in that thing.
Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, I mean, but Tristan, are you a fan?
I don't like him for this team because I don't like Capella sometimes. You remember when I didn't like him, but he been playing. But if you need somebody who can block shots and roll to the basket and dunk, hey, he's a good time. What about the dude Dedmon, who's trying to get out of? Oh, his salary too high. Oh, but Tristan's salary too high. Rockets ain't got no money, man. Who Rockets gonna trade?
No. They got some pieces to trade. I'm just telling you now.
Who they got to trade?
They got
one.
Huh?
Give me one that they got somebody to trade that somebody else want.
That somebody else want?
Yeah, somebody else want.
Eric Gordon is one.
No, you better not trade Gordon. Trade Gordon. I'm gonna quit playing. I'm gonna quit messing with the Rockets.
I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. They put some other pieces
No. They better not trade Gordon. I'll be for Tristan Thompson. Zero.
No. I'm not saying that's the trade that I've heard proposed, but I have heard that the Rockets, that Tristan Thompson is right up on the top of their.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see. I got to look at his salary. I'll do a salary
and
analysis tonight.
I got something else to think about, Adam.
Okay.
About this. Tristan Thompson is a UT alumni.
He didn't stay but a cup of coffee.
He didn't stay but a cup of coffee. They still though. People made some money off of him.
Cup of coffee.
And you think about this. Mm-hmm. The Rockets are always in a quest to increase their international presence. Tristan Thompson would give them Canada.
Don't nobody in Canada think about Tristan Thompson right now, man.
Yeah, he's an NBA champion though.
Well, why don't he go to Canada?
And guess what? What? If Tristan Thompson is there, that means that baby mama, that baby mammy, gonna show up at some games. And she show up at some games, that's gonna help increase your.
She don't mess with him like that. He back messing with the other baby mama that he had before that.
Maybe on Father's Day, maybe Valentine's Day. She may come. Hey, you know.
Hey, Travis Scott done lost his privileges. Hey, what was going on in Houston the other day? You had 21 Savage, then another rapper, and Travis Scott all on the front row in the game. Something had to be happening in Houston the other day. 21 Savage, Young Thug. I think one y'all. I can't keep up.
Well, you had New Year. You had talking about New Year's Eve.
No, this just the other day, the last home game.
Okay.
Against Philly. I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know on New Year's Eve they had some stuff going on.
Yeah.
And Stephen Woods, he's crazy. He's off the chain in the Boomer Room. He says R. Kelly and Usher, that song, Same Girl.
Same Girl. Yeah.
Speaking of R. Kelly.
That's interesting, man. But that's a good summer thought. So you don't think the Rockets should stand pat? Huh?
Well, they need some help. They need some help for Clint Capella. He's playing a lot of minutes.
Guess what? We still got Nene's salary. Now we can trade it because it's after you got to wait till the trading deadline.
Yes, before February the what, 10th, 12th, something like that.
Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now,
See,
Corey, you say I'm reaching with that one. I'm telling you, I done gave, I done gave you something. I didn't say
Corey.
who they was going to trade for. I just told you guys
Corey.
who's one of the persons on the top of the to get list for the Houston Rockets, and not for a starting role, for a backup role. That could remember Tyson Chandler is not. Tyson Chandler has been relegated to the Nene role. Nene was really a ploy to go and steal Andre Iguodala. And somebody snitched on the Rockets and let Memphis and the NBA know what the Rockets were planning to do. And that messed up the deal. It's something about the Rockets. Every other year, there's a deal that they're about to pull off that could be really good, and somebody gives them up or snitches them out, rats them out.
Somebody, oh, no. Oh, you talking about ratting about the Nene deal?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They were planning on, it was some type of deal. They were basically cooking the books.
Yeah, they cooked the deal. But Jimmy, didn't nobody have to when the Players Association look at the deal, because they got to ratify the deal. Like if we sign a deal, we have to send it to the Players Association. They got to look over the deal. They found out when they looked over the deal. Dude, come on. They told Rockets, get the hell out of here with that.
And so that absolutely did. And of course, we mentioned some of the top games tonight in around the league. Utah is, man, who did I see? Boston at Washington. That's not good because Washington's not even in the playoff. Washington is 11-24. How about Indiana and Charlotte? Charlotte is not even in the playoff hunt right now. How about Milwaukee and San Antonio?
I mean,
that's a number 8 seed versus number 1 seed. Golden State and Sacramento? Hell no.
No, not you. No. Let's skip because I don't want to get in that subject again. Let's just skip. I can't believe you just said that. But let's go. What's the next game?
Brooklyn at Orlando. Number 7 versus number 8.
Okay.
Guys, find you some college action tonight. And I would strongly suggest, if you're speaking of college action, as we pivot over into the amateur basketball arena, SWAC games, TSU and Prairie View are both hosting Southern and Alcorn respectively this evening. Once again, okay. TSU will be hosting Southern. It's a 7:30 tip-off, and Prairie View will be playing Southern, which will be a very, very good game. I got a chance to see Southern this past weekend, and they played TSU. There was a SWAC opener for both teams. And, and I always, it was a good crowd if you factor in school as yet to resume for the spring semester, right? But TSU won the game 77-68. I mentioned Prairie View beat Alcorn 84-70. Grambling, I'm giving you some SWAC results only, over Alabama A&M. Anthony Western, Alabama A&M loses to Grambling 70-60. Jackson State 70-67 over Alabama State. Arkansas Pine Bluff survives Mississippi Valley 80-76. One thing about it is that, and I mentioned tonight, Alcorn is at TSU, Southern is at PV. This is a great opportunity because most high school games they're in district play now.
But they had to practice. They had to practice, Jimmy.
Yeah, and they can't practice no more. They're done with practice by 5.
Okay.
You can't practice more than 2 hours, a UIL rule. So
how they gonna get to the game? So they supposed to pay their way in the game?
No. If you're a prospect, you can call the college and inform the college. I'm glad you brought it up because a lot of people have no idea about this.
Okay.
It's game day, so it may be hard, but let them know that your son is a prospect and he plays at this high school and he's interested in coming and attending the game. And they can write that kid's name on the list.
TSU got time.
He would get 3 tickets. But game day is game day.
TSU got time, Jim. But keep going.
What do you mean? TSU about to go and win the conference this year.
But they
You
got
know,
time.
And that's Johnny Jones with a good staff. It's the same coach. He's gonna
So
he's
if you're
gonna
a great staff, you got time for a prospect. That's all I'm saying.
well not no. A prospect is different. You can be a prospect, but you can also be a prospect that the school is not recruiting. Just because they respond to you, don't mean they recruiting you. And boy, so now, and I want to get something out the way and share with you guys before we get into this about this topic and get into the mailbag. In this game, I want to put stuff in the perspective for you guys. And as I do, I'm going to grab, when I'm reaching down now, I'm grabbing out of my desk. This is last year's copy of the magazine, right? 2018 version. And now, of course, this is 2019 version. But on this 2018 version, right? This young man right here who's sitting down, right there, that's Jamar Reedus from Eisenhower.
Okay.
He was a front cover boy on the magazine. He decided he was going to TSU, signed with TSU. Mind you, TSU had a point guard who was a JUCO transfer that went to state with Elkins High School a few years, Tariq Armstrong. He's a senior now. So this young man, Jamar Reedus, front cover, ranked top 6 in the city of Houston last year. Remember, the most important stat is MPG.
Okay.
Now, how many minutes he played on Saturday night?
How many?
3. 3 minutes. They all came in the first half. Hit a running jump off the left side, but it's hard. I had a conversation this morning with a parent, and they didn't understand because here's what the parent said. Asked me. Parent says that TSU asked them to come on for an unofficial visit or come to one of their games. He said, and the guy was like, that means TSU's recruiting. I said, no, that don't mean TSU wants your son. That means TSU wants your son to come to their games. Big difference. The more high school prospects that are in attendance, the sexier it becomes. And also, don't get it twisted. If school is in progress, one of those swag games, like say a TSU in Prairie View, no matter home or away, that's the ultimate atmosphere that you would want to take a young person to the game. And once again, just because a school agrees or invites your relative to come to the game, that don't mean they're recruiting your relative. So we got to be able to engage in reality going into this new decade. A lot of people really getting it twisted, and our job, guess what?
So what that means? They just want them to come to the game. They just want them to come to the game. They just have a casual. It's not a casual interest.
No. It don't mean that it's not, but that doesn't automatically mean that it is.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's
so don't go around saying that. Then that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And understand, you stay in the game, they give you a tour of the locker room before, after, you go and you meet the coaches, they'll even take a picture with you. That doesn't mean if they want you, they will say we're offering you a scholarship without anybody twisting their arm or soliciting them or persuading them to do so.
You don't have to say nothing to them. They just go offer you a scholarship. Okay.
If they like you, because guess what? They don't have to say nothing to you, but more than how you doing. A lot of times, coaches, you've been there before, Adam. Coaches see a kid play, and after their game is over, they walk over to their parents, say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm so and so, coach of so and so. Well, let's know we offering your kid a scholarship." They don't know the parent name. You know why? Because they ain't recruiting the parent. Once that kid sign that letter of intent, they're not gonna halfway call the parent back anyway. Unless you're a game changer. If you don't know you're not a game changer until after you sign that letter of intent or a potential game changer. You really don't know until you touch the court and you prove it. But a potential game changer is you would see how they treat you, the parent I'm talking to, after they've signed the letter of intent. Watch the rate of the response time to your text messages, how quickly they answer your phone calls, how the enthusiasm in their voice. It may go to what the hell you want. They're not going to say that to you, but that's how it would feel. To I'm in a hurry, I'm about to walk into a meeting, to being totally undivided with you. That's what that means. Now, the rankings for the top 25 was released about an hour ago. And Heather, come on back here. Come on. Come on back.
I just don't want somebody about to ring my bell. I don't want them to ring my bell.
Go that screen though. Come on back in and tell me. The Memphis Tigers took one on the chin to the Georgia Bulldogs. Savell Wheeler strikes again, y'all. Savell Wheeler helped guide the Bulldogs to a great win over the Memphis Tigers. As a result, Memphis took the biggest drop of the season for a top 10 team. They dropped from number 9, right, to number 21 off one loss. Number 9 to number 21. And the Baylor Bears, I don't know if you're paying attention or not. Of course, number 1 team in the country is Gonzaga. Number 2 is Duke, followed by Kansas. They all three sit still as they were a week ago. Guess who's number 4? The Baylor Bears are the number 4 team in the country right now. Auburn is 5. Guess who's number 6? Guess who's number 6? Butler. Butler is number 6. Butler has 1 loss. Guess who is it to? Baylor. Baylor lost to Butler. San Diego State. How about them? They're in the top 10. Yes, San Diego State is back. They're number 7. Michigan State, Oregon, and Florida State, number 8, 9, and 10. Shout out to Florida State, Leonard Hamilton. We've had him on the Chop Shop at least 5 times. Now that this college conference season in the new year, we will satisfy your requests. I saw some of the emails people want asking, can we get more? When are we going to have more college coaches back on? You want it, you got it, Toyota. So we will, and get Ham. He's one of the best ever. The thing about Leonard Hamilton guy, he won't talk us a devil.
He good.
But he's solid though, man. We talking about the Mount Rushmore of African American head coaches who are active in the league, and one of the guys that don't get routinely, Florida State is in the top 10 in the country. Routinely, they either going to beat North Carolina once or they're going to beat Duke once in conference play. Routinely. And yet still, people think about top coaches, they glisten right over his name. Mm-hmm. He's put guys in the NBA routinely.
And Jimmy.
And that was the thing
had a rocky start, Jimmy, in college basketball. He went off and did something else, and Joe B. Hall at Kentucky, called in them game. He just said it was hard for, that man's 70-something years old. It's hard for a black man to be a coach at a university back then, man. Shoot, they wasn't respecting us as people. The Civil Rights Act was just, Jim Crow was still live and prevalent. You know, it's called Jim Crow Esquire now, but it was alive and prevalent back then. So yes, he is a pioneer. Every time I see Florida State, I want them to win. I always want Florida State to win because I got a chance to meet him. A great, great man.
And speaking of college basketball, I want to give a shout out also SMU. This past weekend, you had number 3 going against number 3 again, just like old times. When I say number 3, I mean number 3 from Vanderbilt. His name is Maxwell Evans. Went to Bel Air High School. They played and hosted SMU, and the guy who wears number 3 for SMU is former Sam Houston High School star Kendrick Davis. Kendrick Davis went against Maxwell Evans. These two guys played each other twice a year in district play for 4 years straight. Sam Houston beat Bel Air every time for 4 years straight in district play. That is. They matched up in college, and it was a great thing because think about it, Max Evans took his lumps at Vanderbilt. Thought he was going to play a year ago. Then the young fella came in who was one and done and stole all of the minutes, and he had to go and play reserve once again. So now Darius Gardner. And now you have Max Evans was in the starting lineup in the SEC, and I think the wait it paid off, and the dream is fulfilled.
So what did he do? What are you doing?
Well, in that particular game, SMU pulled off the upset win.
I hate that because I don't want Jerry Stackhouse to lose no game, that many games. But what does Max do?
Well, that's a good thing. Max Evans in that game, he had 8 points in 22 minutes, 2 rebounds, 0 assists. Okay. Kendrick Davis played 34 minutes, had 24 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and a W. Once again, Kendrick Davis gets the best of a Maxwell Evans-led team. And speaking of Kendrick Davis, he's doing well at SMU, Adam. Since becoming eligible.
But he can play.
Last month.
Hey, was never no doubt about Kendrick Davis.
But, understand, the turbulence of going to the program, and you get there, you think, how good is this SMU team? Remember now, they played Georgia to 2 overtimes. And Xavier Wheeler hit the layup, went right around Kendrick Davis, and converted the game-winning layup.
Yeah, if you play a close, ugly game, I watched this game. Memphis was 11 or 20 from the free throw line, and their second leading scorer didn't play. No excuse. But you know what? You know what I've learned about this basketball? You can always holler about, you got the number 1 recruiting class, and you got this guy and you got that. Those guys got to play. This dude, Boogie Ellis, I just want somebody, when you look at the Memphis game, just go look at the stats. Jimmy the stat guy. Boogie Ellis, and thank God that Penny, he made a promise something to all of these kids. One thing I like about Penny as a coach, he's going to give you a chance. Boogie Ellis was the guy who had formerly committed to Duke, right? And went to Memphis. Jimmy, I hope you putting up his stat. This poor little kid, and you listen to me, that's my school. And not make this kid just been struggling. I mean, when I tell you the man shooting about probably 9% from 3-point line, but Penny's constantly giving him chances to play himself out of it. Because guess what? He was one of the guys that was supposed to be the top recruiting class. So right now, Memphis don't have the top recruiting class no more. James Wiseman is gone to the NBA. Okay, so guess who we got now? The guy was supposed to go to Kentucky, DJ Jeffries. DJ Jeffries had the flu. He couldn't play the other day. So guess what? Lester Quinones, guess what, Jimmy? He was out 21 days and just got back with what? A hand injury. And then we got Boogie Ellis, who ain't getting nothing done. And no excuse, because they still, let me tell you something. You lose a game by 3 points and you miss 9 free throws, man, you're supposed to be in that game. You was up and you had a lead of 8, you had a lead of 7, and you just couldn't punch the button. And guess what I told Penny? You need to come get your guard from Houston. That's what I told him. Like Xavier Willer was the difference in the game down the stretch. He needed to come get a guard from Houston.
But you know, those, and you mentioned that those are the type of games that gets a coach's attention. That's the best time to remind a coach, that little midget he was available. You could have came in, you know, but at the same time, that don't mean it. That don't mean it made an error.
I mean, it's all right because that's one. Hey, they lost but 2 games, so I'm all right with it. And I knew they was gonna drop them if they lost to Georgia. They could have lost to anybody else but Georgia. But guess what? What's gonna be on notice now? These guys got to play like they're ranking. That's what I tell y'all. Excuse me, Boogie Ellis. Excuse me, y'all. Look him up. McDonald All-American. Jimmy, McDonald All-American. Jimmy ain't got nothing done.
I mean, he's averaging 7 points a game this season, Boogie. But once again, he's not meeting expectations as a McDonald's All-American coming in.
And how many minutes, Jimmy? How many minutes?
He's playing Boogie.
Yeah.
23 minutes. That's enough time. That's enough.
Yeah.
23 minutes. That's what you call full time. If you clocked in, that ain't part time.
But guess what? They was talking about him coming in there being one and done.
And I don't know about that.
I'm just telling you, Jimmy, every time you go, excuse me. If I was a young player and I was a McDonald All-American and Duke want me, what you think I'm going to think?
They can sell you on the dream if that's what you want to do.
No. If you're a young player, you are McDonald All-American. That means you're one of the top 24 in the country. Okay? Top in that range. You know y'all call it range. Mike Krzyzewski give me a scholarship. I'm telling you what you thinking as a kid. What you thinking as a kid. Not as a grown person. Yeah, you think you got a chance. Come on, man. But
well,
guess
I mean,
what?
I mean, that's the whole point. If you're part of the class, once you reach anybody that reaches the McDonald's game in today's society is deemed a potential one and done. That's how it goes. But at the same time,
but you got but my thing is, kids, if you want those labels, you want those rankings, play like it, son. I'm talking about the kids in Houston.
Play like it all the time.
Play it like that all the time. The problem with Boogie, you say he averaged 7 points a game, Jimmy. Jimmy, 7 points a game. Jimmy, listen, I got every game on VCR in there, right? Jimmy, I promise you that 7 is very inflated. That's an inflated 7. And Jimmy, none of them, I'll put it like this, none of them impactful buckets. So, but that's enough of Boogie. Boogie, I got you, baby. I still got you back, but I had to get on you now. Okay, now what you got, Jim?
Don't get mad trying to deflate them. They still a top 25 team in the University. University of Houston is not. So therefore,
no, I ain't talking about University of Houston. I didn't attend to that university.
No. That means that those two will play in February next month.
Yeah.
They will play twice.
I don't worry about them. I worry about the university.
No, but in that conference, understand something, Hal. Mm-hmm. The American Conference. There's a potential for 4 teams.
Wichita State, Doc.
4 teams out of that conference.
You worry about, you talking about Memphis, you better worry about Wichita State.
Worry about U of H, Wichita State, worry about SMU, and of course, Memphis. That's
got about SMU. I hadn't looked at the schedule.
SMU is 11-2, Hal.
Do we play them twice?
Everybody you play twice.
No, sometimes you don't.
In that conference?
Last year, we played Houston once. We played one of them teams once. Yes, last year we played one of them teams once.
Well, let me tell you right now, you play SMU on the
Because Houston didn't go to Memphis. Memphis came to Houston, but Houston didn't ever go to Memphis.
You play Houston twice.
Not last year.
I'm telling this year you play Houston twice.
I said last year, Jimmy, they didn't play Houston twice.
I understand it. You just asked me, do they play Houston?
No. I'm explaining to you because you asked me a question.
I'm saying to you, okay.
Okay.
But this year you play SMU twice. This year you play Houston twice.
Okay. So we played somebody once this year, right?
Wichita State.
Okay. That's what I'm trying. That's all I'm trying. You all,
And
hey,
and by the time you play Wichita State, that's the next to the last game.
it's all right. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Matter of fact, you play Wichita State on the Thursday.
Okay.
Then you got to come and travel to Houston on for that Sunday to play.
Hey,
Houston.
they fly private, so it don't matter.
It ain't about that. They're talking about mentally, you got to prepare for. That's two of the toughest games in your conference that you're going to play.
Okay.
And that's the last
all
two
I
games.
want to know if everybody healthy, we all right. I want both teams to be healthy.
Speaking of U of H, they picked up another win, a conference win this past weekend over Central Florida, and that was on Saturday in University of Houston. They continue to groove, but all eyes are pointing towards January the 15th. That's when SMU will be in town, and a lot of the local basketball community will get treated to Kendrick Davis versus Quentin Grimes, the college edition. Once again, Kendrick Davis versus Quentin Grimes. They both came out in the class of 2018 from Sam Houston High School and College Park, respectively. Kendrick Davis, both are doing well this season. Let's not get this twisted. Both are doing well.
Yeah.
And I think both, and the thing is, once again, Kendrick Davis is never will be graded on the same bell curve as a Quentin Grimes. Why? Because Quentin Grimes was a McDonald's All-American. And once you're a McDonald's All-American, the expectations are a little bit greater than regular non-top 25 players in the country. Kendrick Davis was barely a top 100 player in the country.
Jim, I'm sorry. I'm glad Freak brought that up. Watch out for Tulane. Whoever played him, watch out for them. That dude Ronnie, he got them guys playing, man.
Ron, the head coach who came from Georgia State.
Hunter. Yeah.
Now, I got another correction for you guys.
Okay.
I mentioned that Memphis, of course, they played SMU twice. They played U of H twice. They do play Wichita State twice.
Okay.
They play Wichita State is actually their very next game, which is this Thursday. They have to travel to Kansas.
I'm just trying to figure out what team we're going to play. I guess opposite year, what team we're going to play one time this year. That's all. I'm just trying to figure it out. I haven't looked at the schedule.
Looking on the schedule, it looks like you only play Temple once.
So we played Temple twice last year.
It looks like you only play, I'm talking about you meaning Memphis. And that's not the only team that you play once. Looks like you play East Carolina once.
Okay. All right. That explains why we didn't play U of H once.
But indeed, Tulane picked up a huge conference win over Cincinnati.
Dude, them dudes can play, man. I'm telling you, they played Memphis. Oh, my goodness. That dude ain't playing, man. And guess what? KJ Lawson, one of the kids who played for Tubby, that's the kid who left the school and said F Tubby, in the video. And, and he went to Kansas. Then he wound up his last year. Jimmy, he got a son already. They booed him at Memphis game. I mean, they booed him at the game. And he started crying a little bit. And Penny said he didn't like that the way. Because Penny coached that guy. He was on Team Penny. Yeah, I know you'd have seen him. Because he on Team Penny. Because guess which one of them sons got into it with the Fox in summer basketball? And the mama, I think you called me and said.
That was Memphis.
Yeah.
Penny.
Yeah. So that's all.
That was Lawson. And so shout out to Heaven. I see Heaven Dorsey on that. Heaven is about to graduate out of this year. How about that? How about she's about to graduate from college?
About time.
Let's go right into the mailbag, guys, at that time of day. Of course, thanks you guys for tuning to the Chop Shop. Make sure you share the show to your family and friends. Let them know about the Chop Shop. Also, shout out to, I see Kevin Freeman over in the school teachers. I know it's a sluggish day, but students are not in most districts. The teachers have reported back to work. So this is one of those days where the teachers get more acclimated and school resumes. Shout out to you guys as well. And Heaven has a message for you how to on the Chop Shop. in the Boom Boom Room.
I
Now,
already
let's
know.
get right to it.
I know.
Today,
I know.
also earlier, the TABC released their state rankings and of the top high schools in the state. And I looked on there and shout out to Jack Yates High School. They are number 1 in the state in Class 4A. In Class 5, and of course, let me stay on 4A. Lamarck High School, can't leave them out. We talked about Jordan Ivory Curry earlier today on the show. I mentioned my Hicks 6 MVP candidates. He's one of them. And they're number 10. And Silsbee is number 14 in Class 4A. Silsbee, however, it's the first time they have more losses this year than they have in the past 3 years before combined. This Silsbee team, it feels like it. It's somewhere, they have 11 losses, 10 wins. However, the football team lasted late into December before those guys joined the team. But in Class 5A, Shadow Creek is number 2. Hightower is number 3. Port Arthur Memorial is number 5. Manville is number 12. Of course, number 1 team in the country is Lancaster. Number 4 is Sulphur Springs. O.D. Wyatt is number 6. Remember, this O.D. Wyatt team is the team who beat Hightower during Thanksgiving at the Hoop Fest on that Friday night. And a lot of people thought that was a bad loss when Hightower they only lost by 1 possession in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Now, they closed it to within 1 possession during the last 20 seconds or so. And I walked out. I don't remember the final score. But it proves that was a quality loss. That wasn't an upset. Once again, Shadow Creek and Hightower, they play each other on Friday night at Shadow Creek. 7 p.m., Hightower at Shadow Creek. That's the place to be. And we talked about that briefly highlighted that game as one of the games to see on High School Sports Zone, which comes on Saturday and Sundays on Channel 57. Let's go over to 6A, guys. In 6A, Duncanville remains number 1. They're the team to beat, defending state champs. Dickinson is number 2. Shout out to the Dickinson Gators. They have a very good chance right now. They're the team to beat out of Region 3. Summer Creek has been, the thing with Summer Creek is, I really like Summer Creek, Hatter, and they were top 5 team going into the season. I went and watched them also this past weekend. I watched them against Atascocita, and Summer Creek beat Atascocita at Atascocita, which jumped them up to number 5 in the state. Well, this is a great win because it put Summer Creek on. It put them. It put them back into the respectability because they lost the Port Arthur Memorial in Port Arthur about a week ago, and that loss was a double-digit loss. It was an ugly loss for Summer Creek, but at the same time, I like the fact that a team like Summer Creek, that head coach Kenneth Coleman, he's getting it done. You got kids like Reese Allen, Javon Jackson, Dylan Scales, Dylan Miles, and a trio of sophomores. They're getting it done. Shout out to those guys. I'm really thinking about leaning toward making Summer Creek the team of the week on the TV show this week. I'm leaning toward doing it. Award some of these, and especially you guys notice a lot of these teams with a lot of the good black coaches, good young black coaches out there getting it done. Give them some screen time. Do my part to help. Atascocita drops down to number 9, Beaumont United number 10, North Shore at number 11. Those are some of your top teams in the state, according to TABC, and Martin Ranch at number 16. And speaking of Martin Ranch, guess what I found out, Hal?
What you find out?
Eddie Lampkin may not be out for the rest of the season after having surgery on December 30th.
Don't tease me.
This is according to the head coach at Martin Ranch. I spoke with him about this past weekend, and the head coach, Chris Turner, says they are expecting Eddie Lampkin back in February, depending on how he responds to his rehab. If he responds to his rehab properly, he could get a release around the 2nd or the 3rd week of February. So that means Martin Ranch, who's good without Eddie Lampkin, because they're faster without him, obviously. But they have now. You rather have and not need than
And
the
the
need
need
and
and
not
not
have.
have. Okay, Rev Mike.
You rather spend. I mean, understand? You're talking about a kid that's 6'9" and 300 and what? What'd you give him? About 315, 320. So that you have it on regards to Eddie Lampkin. Uh, Now let's get in that mailbag out.
Okay,
This
Jim.
past weekend,
What happened? Let me see if I got something too. You go do your thing. Yeah, tell me about all this mess. I done put you on a time over there, baby. You got 19 minutes to talk about all this mess. What the hell is going on?
I like the timer, man. Now, you say what's going on? Let's get the topic out there. What number one, of course, guys, don't forget the spring icebreaker. It's coming up March the 20th through the 22nd. All summer coaches out there, summer teams. March the 20th through the 22nd, the spring icebreaker. That's your largest basketball showcase in this whole region during that particular weekend.
Jim.
Remember, that's the weekend after the state tournament. And
Jimmy.
there's a lot of events that's going on. What you have, Adam?
Jim, I want you to address it later because I want you to get into the subject, but Angel, I think it's going to go off the page. Angel said he said sometime I heard over the weekend, something he heard over the weekend is Mark too unselfish with Dickinson, and will that hurt them down the road? Basically saying if you have a stud, he should funnel everything toward the guy.
I like the question, and you guys
too.
got any other questions you have about high school basketball or recruiting? Post them on the site right now in the Boom Boom Room, and I can get to them right now. Here's the thing about Dickinson and Tremont Mark. Mm-hmm. Going into this season, one of my biggest worries about the team was how Marcus Williams, he's a kid who signed with Northern Colorado, how he would blend and support Tremont Mark. This was Tremont Mark's team. He signed with University of Houston. He's very, very talented, guys. And he's playing really good. So Marcus Williams went to Dickinson last year, but he did not play varsity. He had to play JV because he was not eligible. But on JV, he averaged approximately around 40 points a game. He did exactly what he was supposed to do as a Division I prospect, playing against future intramural players for the most part. That's what he did. Now, this season, early on, I was worried, but either two things would have had to happen. Either Tremont Mark, because a kid like Marcus Williams played on the 17 and under sneaker circuit for Adidas, while Tremont played on the 17 on the sneaker circuit with Nike. So the competitive juices could easily flow with Marcus Williams saying that I'm leading my team in scoring on this Adidas circuit. I'm playing against some of the top kids in the country, right? Even though we're playing, our team is roughly around 500 or sub 500 at the most. But I'm looking at what I'm doing against these guys. Meanwhile, he may look over, could have possibly, I'm not saying this happened. He could look over at Tremont Mark, who's on a team on the Nike circuit that did not have a guy that was scoring. That leading scorer might have been 15 points a game, 17 points a game. So I mean, Tremont Mark might have averaged about 12 a game. I'm not sure if somebody have the EYBL stats, they can pull them up with the Houston Hoops. Marcus Williams was with Team Harden. So either Tremont Mark was going to have to adjust his game to receive Marcus Williams and allow him to shine as a kid that's going to Northern Colorado who thought he should have been going to the Big 12. Or Tremont would have X'd him out and say, listen, this is my team, and wrestle with this young man throughout, and at the sacrifice of the rest of the teams, it could have turned into losses. I watched them play, and trust me, they've arrived. Because often before, even during the Hoopsgiving Classic, during timeouts, Tremont Mark would be over here at 2 o'clock of the huddle. Marcus Williams would be at 10 o'clock of the huddle. You would rarely see them next to each other with an arm around the other one or with an arm on the other one's shoulder during the course of the game. I evaluate a lot of things that during the course of a game. I look at people, I look at benches, I look at timeouts. And I encourage you guys to do the same. Watch where people sit. Watch who sit next to who. Watch who talks with who. Watch who, all that type of stuff. If you're paying attention, then that don't mean it's going to create a theory or it's going to create a conclusive supporting fact, but it will give you some signs that if you see some stuff down the line, you can trace it back and think, oh, that's why. He gave everybody a high five on the bench, didn't go down to the end and get that guy a high five. You know, you see things. That's why I'm yes, Tremont Mark is a bit unselfish, but
He just know how to play basketball.
In crunch time,
he tried to crunch time. He takes the ball.
He gonna take that shot.
Yeah, he plays basketball, and that's a testament to the kid. I don't think he's too unself. I mean, he know how to play. You know, I mean, sometimes so sometimes we get on a kid and say he's too selfish, but this kid, he knows how to play, and guess what? He a senior. He want to win.
And you know what? When I'm thinking, now that I think back, Angel may have seen him in the championship game of the Cypress tournament when Dickinson lost to Lancaster. Lancaster's #1 team in the state. Mm-hmm. They're the overwhelming favorite to win 5A. Just like Duncanville is the overwhelming favorite to win 6A. But guess what? The other 3 teams who make it to state ain't about to fold over and lay down for either one of those 2 teams. Understand that. North Shore made it to state a year ago, and they played Duncanville in the semifinals, and that was a single-digit game all the way in the 4th quarter down the stretch. Didn't see North Shore coming, did it? So this is what happened. You get to state. It can happen to anybody. It can happen. So meanwhile, that's a good question. Now, let's go back to the Boomer Room.
Yeah. Go to your topic. Let's get that. Go to your topic.
There you go. Thanks to Kevin Framen. He looked up Tremont Marks averaged 14.5 a game with the Houston Hoops on the EYBL this past season. And of course, yes, Jeremy Davis. Deuce Guidry is doing pretty good as well. He's finally playing comfortable. You have to realize a lot of these kids, if you know some of their stories off the court, it would help you understand what a lot of them have to overcome and use. And basketball is a very economical escape mechanism for a lot of these young people that are playing sport. Things going on at home. Families are being broken up over basketball or whatnot. And you got to pick and choose. It frustrates, it confuses kids. Deuce Guidry has an offer right now from Lamar State, Port Arthur. And if I'm Deuce Guidry, I take that offer and run with it. Take it and run with it. Port Arthur, Texas is only an hour and 10 minutes away. Probably less than that, depending on what part of town you live on and how far out of the suburbs of East Houston you live. Stop playing around with these offers. So many people, I don't know because once you get it, you can be comfortable in your game. You know you have a free education for at least the next 2 years. Now, back in regarding to the mailbag, I mentioned to you guys about the spring icebreaker. And it's funniest thing happened. Last week, I put a list of the teams that were committed to the spring icebreaker. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you why I did. Somebody asked me, why did I do it? And that's not the first time I do it. I've done it for years. I've always published the list of teams, and then normally they go on the website, and you guys can see who's playing. And it do it for two reasons. Number one, that way it puts a team, if a team is planning on being two places at the same time, it will let the other event operator know that a team may have lied to them or they may be lying to me. You see, that's one reason I do it. That way it basically put a squeeze on a team that's trying to, not, and then also some teams out there that may tell some of their parents that they're going to play in a certain event or in the spring icebreaker, and they not. So if I put it out there, then the parents now will turn into the angry mob and get on that coach's ass and say, hey, why our name not on that list? That's one of the reasons that I do it. Now, ask any other tournament operator why they don't do it. You know why? Because a lot of times they tell you that teams are coming to tournaments and they are not. And you may not have the resources to call and verify if a team is coming or not. So also when I'm doing the icebreaker, I put that list out there, and guess what? Mm-hmm. A couple of those teams got phone calls. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Got phone calls from people basically begging them, accusing them of turning their back on their city to come to the icebreaker. Mind you, understand relationships and what they do in this stuff. People always will try to bypass reality when it comes to themselves. If you in one breath can say, Jim Hicks runs great events, right? Mm-hmm. You go publicly and say that. Then why would you not understand if a team wanted to go to the event if the event is a great event? or were you just saying it just to say it and didn't really mean it? Or just said it just for an ulterior motive? Most of the sneaker-sponsored main teams in Texas and Louisiana have committed to the spring icebreaker, March the 20th and 27th. So a lot of teams, if they want to go and play that weekend, they want to play against something that they can sharpen their iron against. Otherwise, you go to an event where you're the headliner and you got to play. First of all, and if you're playing iron versus iron, guess what? The team that lose, you really don't lose. Somebody got to win if two sneaker teams are playing against each other. But if that sneaker team is playing in an event and you're the only sneaker team, you got to play against non-sneaker teams who already advertise that they just as good as you or they can beat you, and you go up there and lose. It could cost you a player or two. Because losing, everybody doesn't respond the same after a loss. Certain people going to look for something to blame. You see, when you're dealing with a sneaker team, you're talking about kids have been playing 30 minutes a game at their high school. Now they got to play 14 minutes, 18 minutes, maybe 20 minutes tops, because they have to parlay the minutes the better the team is. So that's one of the things you look at. Understand, guys, my point is saying this is stop allowing people to implant their narrative into your minds without you doing your homework. Somehow, and I hear people saying, and this thing, and understand, on top of the show, if you missed the top of the show, this past weekend kicked off my 19th year on television. It's seasonal. It's a seasonal gig. Every year, it used to be from December to April. Now it's January to April. I'm on channel 57 in Houston, the Cube High School Sports Zone, every Saturday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. It's the 19th year. Do you realize that most of the high school student athletes who are playing right now weren't even born when I started on television. I showed up earlier this in the show. We showed you the magazine. That's a platform, in other words. Television is the most supreme platform of media. For example, commercials on TV cost more than ads on the newspaper. Ads in the newspaper cost more than the ads in radio. Well, now some radio stations is vice versa. I flipped that. But TV is first. That's a platform for the information to get out to the masses. We are on the Chop Shop is a platform for information to get out to the masses. The magazine is a tangible, physical platform for information to get out to the masses. Not to mention, of course, the RCS Sports, the website. That's a platform. And understand something, guys. It's easy for a person to hate on different platforms. But the fact of the matter is, and it involves you or your son, it's like having a teammate. You don't have to like your teammate. But boy, that teammate can provide, if he's a point guard, he can provide you an assist and get you the open shot. That's all you care about. Use the tools and the platforms that are available to you, especially the ones for free. Every platform that I just named, it don't cost a parent or a kid to get exposure into it. But people will make you believe, man, some good guys out there, some damn good salesmen, will make you believe that that this guy here, you come on our event, mind you, ask yourself, unless relationship is going to trump a lot of stuff. But if you're going and you're going to get supreme exposure, meaning that people say, well, if you live in Dallas, why would you go to the event in Houston? There's going to be at least 3 voting members of the National Basketball Players Association Top 100 camp in the building. Right? Those guys, if you see you, then it increases your chances. That don't mean you're not going to not get in by going somewhere else. But then if you go somewhere else and you don't get in, then blame your own self for the decisions that you make. See, if you notice on flyers, people always put at the bottom of their flyers, have national media would be there. Scouts and national media.
But they don't never say who.
Never say who. And it's your fault if you don't ask. You know, ask me who's gonna be there. I tell you who's gonna be there. Remember who was there last year? We had one of the Nike brass has been there for each of the past 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Either it was Jamal or it was John Stovall. Vince Baldwin came one year. One of those Nike brass is a mandatory for them to bring their butt down to the icebreaker. You know why? If Stovall comes, that means now, if you playing with one of the Nike programs, and you playing 15U, you playing 16U, that means Stovall got a chance to see you.
And Jamie, and I'm gonna tell this, and I talked to Stovall when he was here. You gave him a list of games to go see. He got to see LJ Cryer. He came out of his mouth that every time LJ Cryer was on the floor, he was the best player. He got to see Bryce Griggs. He missed the game that Bryce hit about 100, but he missed that game, but he saw the other games. He missed the game that when James Harden was there. But see, that's why I didn't understand, because I don't I'm not that social media savvy, but us men, especially us mature men, on this show, I've been consistent for the last 3 years. It's just trying to teach the young people how not to be reckless on social media. I saw some reckless stuff on social media, man, this weekend. And where it got me is when people come out and publicly acclaim or proclaim stuff about somebody they want you to know, them people really feel like that. And I want you to look, this for you, Jimmy. When people come out and publicly acclaim, you got to understand, these grown men tweeting these things and retweeting these things. You publicly proclaiming that, hey, man, using analogies and stuff like that, man. You know, then we even had a guy, and then we get into, let me tell you something. Grown men, you got this dude's number. You don't have to get on Twitter where I can see it. And the only reason I'm bringing it up, because somebody was screenshotted it and sent it to me because I don't follow y'all. Somebody screenshot and said, man, these grown men are reckless, and they try to tell us not to be reckless on this app. Man, we got to do a better job in this community. I remember one of the things that I've always tried to do is bring this situation together. The people, I know a lot of people don't like it. Oh, heck, I'm gonna have it again. I know it's possible for people. Now, guess what? You're not gonna be able to work with everybody. Everybody your color ain't your kind. Everybody didn't agree with Martin Luther King, Jimmy. Everybody didn't agree with Malcolm X. We just looking at prisoners of the moment. People didn't agree. Everybody's not gonna come with us. But it's enough of us that want to make this thing better. Y'all got to understand, the only reason I'm getting up here talking, I had a son come through this stuff. Thank God Robert Hatter didn't need this stuff for his son to be successful. I'm trying to make it better for the parents that come behind me and the kids that come behind me. That's the only reason I get up here and talk about this stuff. That's the only reason. And we got to stop this stuff, man. You sitting up here talking about another guy's event and trying to discredit or devalue his event? Man, we got to get better than that, y'all. Y'all got to realize, I can't wait to take the trip to Ghana. I want to see that door to point of no return. Because, Jimmy, you know what I learned about Ghana? If a whole lot of white men had came over and tried to get them slaves, they'd have saw them guys coming and they would have fought them or, fend them off or got away from them. The problem with the slave trade, and I'm going to go there, is because they got somehow on to trap us and put us on that ship. Come on, man. Go look in the gyms. This is dominated by young African-American men. And we got African-American men like Jimmy and all these guys doing these events. Man, listen to me, y'all. Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Wendy's right around the corner, right across from each other. Let me repeat that. Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, McDonald's are right across the street from each other. It's enough, man. We just got to do it with class. Do your event. You don't have to talk about my event to make yours better. That's all. I've been preaching this forever, and I'm going to preach it until the cows come on. Can't keep doing that, man. Jimmy, I didn't mean to interrupt with you because I saw it, y'all. Somebody sent me the email. Somebody sent me a screenshot. I don't like to get in them group texts, but they sent it to me because they know, Robert, this is the stuff you've been fighting against and y'all going and taking it and getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
I mean,
we're bigger than that.
it was a guy this past weekend, and I was over at one of the soul food shack, one of the eateries on over our homestead. So a guy we were talking about the community.
Mm-hmm.
Because you meet somebody you ain't saw in a while and say, let you know, so and so just had a heart attack and so and so went to the hospital. Or did you know so and so was gone to jail or so and so died? You didn't, you catch up with certain people that you hadn't talked to in a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy said something that it translates over to, it hits home with me in regards to this basketball.
Okay.
Here's what he said. He says, and I'm paraphrasing what the fella said. He says, back in the old days, he say, if a guy had, let's say, a Benz, right, or a Bentley, that guy was respected because you knew who he was, and it was like you respected him.
Just because he got a car?
No, I'm talking about that guy that live in that guy that has it in the hood. We're talking about in your back in the 70s.
Okay.
In your hood, in your community.
Okay.
You understand? Only in every ant bed is a different red ant.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that guy that had that he used the term, he said a Benz or a Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
That guy had a different degree of respect. Now it would be wavered depending on his involvement and way of how he treated other people, but it was a respect that came with that. Today, the guy gets a Benz or the Bentley. People going in that community, they're gonna look at him and say, gonna be a group of people that's gonna look at him and say, they're gonna look at him as a target, not out of respect. It's like, oh, he got it. I'm gonna either go and take it when he park it. I'm gonna put this pistol aside, try to rob you, break in, steal it from you. You're a target now. So when I look at it and say, okay, well, when being a target without respect, a lot of people, and I can't believe how the brainwashing, how easy some people can be brainwashed.
And Jimmy, it was a comment, a guy talking about you brainwashing people in Houston. So a guy made a comment on Twitter.
So understand,
it's crazy.
I don't do a lot of conversing like that on social media. If people want to hear me talk, they hear me talk on the Chop Shop, or you go into the VIP news,
right,
and you read what I'm saying.
Right.
So understand, I'm not trying to rally the troops up under me for need of support. I'm just giving you the facts, and understand. Once again, all you gotta do is pay attention. I've given pretty much everybody, not everybody, the opportunity. For many guys who came and approached me about eating, I provided them a way to eat. Think about, and once again, ask how many guys out there who come to me with an idea that they want for me to eat off of their plate. Once again, I say it again so it can clear up, put it where the goats can get it. When you get to a certain age, you try to put fingerprints on people that are hungry and coming up if they want it. So I go and I get a Rick Nelson, and we do the Southwest Exposure Camp, who a lot of people tried their best to deflate, and it ended up being a total success. I go and I reach back before Glenn Smith gets 16,000 or 11,000 in the American Airlines Arena. Go and get him to go and do on a project in order for an opportunity, and bring Anthony Edwards in, put Marcus Sloan on that project for the opportunity for them to eat. Once again, I'm not saying they're supposed to do it back to me, but I'm saying to you guys, they're not supposed to do
Jimmy, you just said they ain't supposed to be like you. And Marcus, you just made a comment, and maybe this is why I don't like people to talk. Maybe you need to talk to or call somebody, because you say it depends. if the guy is trying to help other guys get a Bentley, I think it's left of a target. That's not that guy's responsibility. All the guy's responsibility is ain't no guy got no responsibility to help you get no damn Bentley. Got to be out your mind. If he want to and if he allow you to eat with him, it's over. But that's not his responsibility. And you shouldn't want to rob him because he didn't. Figure out a way. I posted some, Jimmy. You know, I don't even post too much on Twitter. And all I was saying, we are now in a time. We used to be in an industrial age. You can work your way. You can work your way up. You can work yourself up through the bootstraps, and you can work with your hands. Now you in a era that you can use your mind to make a whole lot of money. Let me repeat that. You can use Jeff Bezos used his mind. He don't make none of them products. He just got y'all buying them. And y'all buying them through him instead of going through. That's all he did. But you sitting up here saying somebody got a responsibility to help you or anybody else get a Bentley? If I got to help you get one, you don't need one. I'm just saying, that's how I took it. That's why I said I don't like text, because this is what you said. It depends. If the guy is trying to help other guys get a Bentley, I think it's less of a target. That's what you said. Maybe you wrote it wrong. It depends. So if I'm trying to help you get a Bentley, you ain't gonna try to be mad at me. You ain't gonna try to rob me. But if I'm not, it's not my job, man. Ain't nobody helped me get nothing like that. Jimmy said something. You allow people the opportunity.
And that's the key. That's the key.
It's people it's people text me and said, man, why are you sending your son to that school? Some grown-ass men. Why are you sending You send your son to Boogaloo State if you want to. We got a plan. Okay, Marcus say that's how people, okay, that ain't how you think. Okay, you better qualify that the next time. Okay, but Jimmy, people will sit there and tell you, people that's blind, hold up, Jimmy. People that's blind trying to tell you about your vision. Let me repeat that. Don't ever take advice from blind people telling you about your vision, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll talk over the next few weeks about being blind. But Jimmy, I'm going to let you end this thing.
Yeah,
man, I'm tired.
But here's the thing about and you mentioned I'm going through and I'm reading some of the comments in the Boom Boom Room. Shout out to you guys. I see Donnie Spry just joined us on there. Shout out to Donnie. Anthony Weston. Unity is the key to survival. Understand that. But here's the thing. What I'm pointing on is.
But you don't work, you don't eat. That's what they told me.
The way that I was raised is to help. You try to help provide. At least provide a plate or help provide a way for the next guy to be able to eat. And therefore, maybe one day that seed that you plant in that guy will come back and it will harvest in some form or fashion on tomorrow. Whether tomorrow be 1 week, 1 month, 10 years, 30 years. That's just the way I was raised. So in doing so, normally, when people see, or I was taught that if people see you trying to help others, then it's easier for them to, two things. Number one, to want to help you because they know where your intent is to help others who's trying to help themselves. Or number two, they're going to protect you. If somebody comes from another neighborhood and try to come and set up shop or infiltrate or take down that key figure. If they take down your key figure, then if that key figure is supplying an opportunity for others to eat, or eat mean get exposure, eat mean attain their goals, eat platform, whatever. If he's providing an opportunity for others to eat, and you let somebody come and just sniper him out, it's supposed to be an $80 million bounty on their head. Because that means now you take this person out, then they take it, then that means now it ain't good. But guess what? That's life, and that's how a lot of times black folk, you just be careful on how gullible some of you can become without paying attention. Think about this. When you ask a person what do they really do, so think about it when you really peel back the layers of some stuff. So if a guy tweet out your son's name, you really believe that he's doing more for you than a guy who's sending your son's name directly to a college coach on his cell phone or via email. You really believe, some of you, a cat can have 3 followers, and you think that those 3 followers are greater than the guy who has 30,000 followers. Just give an example. Pay attention. Pay attention to some of the things that's going on, and some of these guys are misleading you. That's all I'm saying. If you don't pay attention, then you can't carefully then you can have enough knowledge to pose questions as to when you go into events. Why is it costing so much at the door? Well, ask the question. Then that way now you make if you have a summer team, that's another topic.
Jimmy, that's weird to me. I've never asked nobody how much they charge to get in their place. Either I'm going to go in there and I'm paid, and I'm not.
Well, some people that live on a budget, they want to know that, but if you want to know that,
if I live on a budget, guess what? That might not be in my plans. I don't have to go. Let me repeat that. If you're a good person that stick to your budget and that's not in your plan, you wait till your budget permits it. That's what a good budget, a person that budget, you just said, if it's not in his budget, if it's not in his budget, it's not meant for him to go, Jimmy. It's all right not to go, Jimmy. It's all right not to go to the Spain. That's what's in our background right now. It's all right not to go. If it's not in your budget, you can't go. But if you save up enough money, you'll be able to go see the Sagrada La Familia in Barcelona, Spain. That's all I'm saying, man. Quit counting other people's money.
And lastly, it's funny as hell because it's an atmosphere among some people out there.
It's crazy.
If you ever played ball in high school, and I always use this analogy, I don't use it as much as I used to because some people call it shaming, but I use the analogy, I call it the fat cheerleader syndrome, meaning that, that one cheerleader that might have been big-boned, pretty thick,
big-boned,
fat cheerleader, but she was cute as hell and would do that homework for you if you needed your homework done. And get what? You sneak over, you call her, you don't really say much to her at school. But at nighttime, you be on the phone with that fat cheerleader, or you might go sneak over to the house. Don't tell nobody you went over there. That's how some of you are allowing the person with that's on multiple platforms to be treated in your city. That's all. Think about it. Platform. You love Big Doug, right? But Big Doug is probably the only African American in the state of Texas that has worked for a company for basketball evaluating, go up under the arm of one of these companies alike, but he works for RCS Sports. I'm willing to go on the ledge and say there's another black person in this state that has the situation that he has, and his checks have came on time and before time on many paydays repeatedly all the time. So if I'm gone, then you think that in some of your minds, Big Doug just assumed the position and manner and go like that. I provided the opportunity for Big Doug to provide for his family. I provide an opportunity for Rick Nelson to provide for his family. May it be for one day or one weekend, but it's an opportunity. Provide an opportunity for Glenn Smith to come in the family. The Christmas crossover ain't met expectations, but it's the opportunity for Glenn Smith, Marcus Sloan to eat. Richard Law got with him with the middle school championships, provide an opportunity for him to provide for his family. Once again, pay attention. Pay attention. So don't, do I got to keep reminding you guys about the back to school drive? It's easy for somebody to go do that. You got to wait till August to give back, to get some clothes to a kid that need it. So that's what it is. We got to wait till September before we just go get some tennis shoes to a kid that need it. No, come on, man. Pay attention. Yesterday, I just went in my closet and gave a young fella a pair of 12s, some walking shoes. He don't even play basketball. But it's the giving back. Pay attention. That's all. You paying attention? My prices has always been low.
Dude, I just don't care. You know, it just bothers me. I mean, that people will sit on here and try to. Nobody has a responsibility. The point I keep trying to make, to do anything for nobody. Nobody. That's not their responsibility. If they want to, they do it. You wanted to go in there and get them shoes out. Oh, let's not talk about that kind of stuff. Cause I can go on and on. But that's not people big. I saw something last night. And we can end with this. Somebody was talking about the Kardashian girls. Talking about they didn't give something to something. And Kim said, look here, woman. Everything that I do, I don't publicize. Everything I do, I don't publicize. You can't, that's why I'm saying you can't worry about somebody charging you for, everybody charge for their events. Jimmy, I ain't never went to a basketball game. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something I like. Let me show you something. One person, one people. The Fort Bend tournament. I walk in there ready to pay. In the first few rounds of Fort Bend, you saw all the free basketball you want to. If anybody says thank you to the Fort Bend, if anybody said thank you to Fort Bend, did you know, Jimmy? I don't think the Cypress tournament or those other tournaments or the Cater tournament was free. The first, and nobody never talked about it. And I ain't never heard Fort Bend, those first few rounds, I guess the final, the last day or the last night, they might have charged. But the first few days, you just walk in. So, I mean, it's just, my thing was, forget what you and me do for anybody. Man, let's stay off of this app. Anthony Weston, I'm going to give you my number so you can stay off this app. Stay off these apps running your mouth about nothing you have no idea about. That's the point I'm trying to make. Got to be a little bit more responsible to these kids. Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. So you guys understand the message once again. Get smarter, do better 2020. And It is, and we definitely have a lot. We have a lot of topics that we left on the table. We'll talk about a lot of stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
And get dive more into the mailbag. I see that's right, Jeffrey. The first 2 days of that Fort Bend tournament was actually free.
Yes, I just said it.
Yeah. And they charged on Saturday. I didn't make it on Saturday. That was the weekend that Sandra graduated at Lamar University and got her master's. So I was gone. But yeah, I went out there on Friday, on Thursday. Went to one on Thursday and one on Friday between that and the Cypress. But yeah, guys, want to appreciate you guys for hanging in there with us on the Chop Shop. First show of the new
year. That's right. Happy New Year.
And once again, we're gonna push forward. Just be smarter. Be smarter. Let a guy come and tell you.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy.
Why go to Houston, stay and support your own city, but then you'll go and try to call every team you can out of Houston.
In Houston to tell them to come up there.
That's crazy. Look how crazy that is.
See, I didn't see that part on the text. I mean, all I know is I just don't. Hey, y'all, I ain't got no problem with how y'all do, but man, just don't do it on social media. That's the only point I'm saying. We bigger than that, man. These kids, listen to me. These kids are watching y'all. Chop Shop. Jimmy, let's yabba dabba do this thing. Jimmy, I know you said something about 2020 vision. Boy, then I thought about my boy Jay-Z. Jay-Z was way ahead of us. He had the 40-40 club 10 years ago. And we talking about 2020 vision. I'm going to be 40-40. I want to be 40-40 like Jay-Z.
Well, that's a good thing. You're going to be Jay-Z and you can rap and sing us the hook line on the way. But anyway, guys, it's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do his thing for the first time in 2020.
Wow.
Thank you so much on behalf of Robert Hatter, Jim Hicks. And guys, see you guys. I'm headed over. I'm going to try to get over to catch the TSU, Alcorn, or the PV Southern game tonight. You can too. Get out and support some of these swag teams. You see them grown men.
I might.
Grown men.
I tell you what. If you had a choice, which one? You got to go to TSU then.
The better game.
The better game gonna be where?
Would be Southern and PV.
That's gonna be the better game.
I think TSU.
I feel that going way out there.
TSU should beat Alcorn. They should beat Alcorn by 15 plus.
Man, okay, I'm gonna ride out there. I'm gonna ride out there, man. I'm gonna ride out there.
They should.
What time the game start out there?
7:30.
All right, let me check.
7:30. And don't forget, guys, you go to rcssports.com. rcssports.com. Go to that website. We have a list of all the top games to see on Tuesday. Plus, the VIP news has been updated.
Oh man!
Already this morning. A lot of good intel in there as well. Go and check that out. And guess what? We'll see you guys on tomorrow. Thanks so much, man. Chop shop.
Thank you.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live.